So you just started your Etsy shop, or you told yourself that this week is gonna be the week that you open your Etsy shop, but then you're wondering, what do I do next after this? Well, don't worry. In this video, we are covering how to do your first month as an Etsy seller right so that you are set up for success and seeing that as fast as possible. And if you don't know me yet, my name is Christina. I have sold over $2.5 million in print-on-demand products, with 1.5 million of that being on Etsy alone with zero marketing. You might be thinking, well, your listings must have been so good from the start. Absolutely not. My listings, especially in that first month, were so bad, and I got better over time. But to do your first month right, instead of focusing on perfection, we are focusing on the habits that you need to make sure that your first month is going to set you up for a lifetime of success on Etsy. This first tip, you're probably going to be saying, well, duh, but I don't think you realize how many people struggle with this when they come to me. And that is literally just starting. People try to come up with the perfect store name, the perfect banner, the perfect descriptions. They want to learn how to create the perfect design first before they even try getting anything live on Etsy. Trying to learn and consume everything at once before you take any action is going to become super overwhelming. And by the time you've learned enough to actually make that first listing, you are going to forget 90% of everything you read about. Perfectionism is a silent killer. It helps people procrastinate and help them feel like they're busy and like they're doing something, when in reality, they are no further in their store than they were when they first started reading. Instead, I want you to look at each step as a learning experience in its own, and only learn about that step, and do not try to be perfect on the first go. It is not going to be perfect on the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 listings, and your storefront is not going to be perfect the day you set it up. So step 1, get over perfectionism. It's not going to happen, and how you are actually going to learn how to create really good listings is by constantly doing it. Every single time you create a new listing, without even realizing it, you are actually getting better and better and better and learning more and more and more. But you need the mindset of that your first listings and your first storefront are not going to be your best seller. They're probably not. I would be amazed if they are. But what they are is they are your learning listings, and they are going to be the foundations of setting you up for success in later listings. Perfection comes from progress and practice. Otherwise, it's just procrastination. That was a lot of P's right there. The second mindset or habit that you need to have in that first month is the ability to stay consistent. Print on demand and just business in general is a long-term game, and you are going to need to be consistent in your learning and consistent in your actions to make sure that you are playing this long game long enough to reap the benefits of all of this effort that you're putting in. It's very, very often that I see people who open their store and spend one full weekend creating as many listings as possible, and then they never touch their store again. They took a good look at it for 2 or 3 days, and that was as long as their motivation held them. They burnt out after those 2 days or that weekend because they spent all of their time on it. Instead of burning yourself out, give yourself a reasonable chunk of time that you can stay consistent with for at least the first month. Ideally, moving way forward, but we're talking about the first month here. So for me, when I first started, that was an hour after work every single day. Then usually I was getting new ideas during the day of what to do during that hour. That hour I knew was already dedicated, was already blocked off in my calendar for Etsy, and I did not burn out, and I stayed excited about my store because I wasn't spending time that I didn't have on this, and I wasn't sacrificing the rest of my life for this. And this also ties back to the perfectionism. If you are staying consistent every day that you list and you're back on Etsy, you are learning the buttons more, you are learning a little bit at the time. You're not overloading your brain with so much information. Every single day, you are getting slightly better. Your listings getting faster. You're learning how to do your titles. You're getting a better eye for good designs. And that happens over time, not all just in one weekend. Number 3, you're going to set goals that you can control. You're not going to worry so much about, I want 100 sales at the end of this month. That's going to seem very overwhelming and it's not really within your control. What you can control is how many listings you get out. I want this goal to be achievable, but not that easy to reach. You want to make sure that it is motivation enough for you to stay consistent. If you told yourself in a month I'll get 1 listing up, you're not going to be working every day. You are going to maybe work that last day. But if you told yourself, I want 2 listings a day up, maybe 5 listings a day up, and setting a goal for having 50 listings in a month, 100 listings in your first month, that is something that you can control, that you can work backwards on as well to set smaller time frames of following your goal to see if you are actually following it or staying on track. And again, we're not freaking out about sales in those first months because so many of these listings, maybe not the last half of them, but a good chunk of them are being written off as a learning experience. We might delete them later. They might be perfect right off the bat, but we're not going to assume that our first listing is going to make us 100 sales that month because that is setting us up for major disappointment. For people who want context, I did not make my first print on demand sale until I had 70 listings up and it was 5 weeks in. So I actually didn't make a sale in my first month, but that first month set me up for so much success. And I now travel the world. I do this full time. I have made more money in my print on demand business than I ever did working my 9 to 5. So that first month again is to set you up for a lifetime. Do not look at it as it is going to make you quit your job in the first month. The 4th thing that you need to do is factor in studying your competition. Not during your first listing, maybe not during your second listing where you're just working out how to get the listing set up. But once you're starting to get the hang of things, I need you, and it is going to make a world of difference to actually start understanding what makes other listings bestsellers. So this can be literally just going on Etsy and seeing what listings have bestseller tags, or if you've invested in some tools like Everbee, Profittree, or any other tools that you prefer that help you find best-selling listings, I need you to actually pay attention to these. Go into your niche, go into niches that you want to be in. What types of mock-ups are working for them? How many colors are they offering? What is their pricing strategy? How much are they charging for shipping? How are they doing their descriptions? What photo cards are they using? If you don't understand why someone else's listing is doing well, that's going to be very hard to accidentally do in your store, having never seen it before. This is also another thing that doesn't need to be done all at once. Maybe every single time you do a new listing, there's a new thing you want to look at and perfect before you move on to the next one. So in one listing, you want to see how your competitors are doing mock-ups. You're going to focus on that. And then maybe down the line, you want to focus on what different cards can you add to your listings to stick out. It's going to be hard to see everything your competitor does, again, without having any listings yourself, because you're not going to know how to apply it to your store, but factor this into your learning throughout the first month. When you are creating listings to sell, I want you to be able to name who is going to buy this product. If you're able to do that, that means that the product is giftable. And Etsy is huge for giftable products, and they are probably the ones that are going to help you stick out the most, especially as a beginner seller. If you can't easily state, this is a gift for blank, then it's going to be much harder to rate your SEO. This is a gift for a retired teacher. This is a gift for a new mom. This is a gift for an ER nurse. But if you can't think of that very specific person who this is going to, say perhaps you just have a shirt with a flower on it, it's going to be much harder to market and to stick out by sub-niching down. The more specific it can be, the better, because writing your SEO is going to become so much easier. And not that non-giftable items can't sell, but they're just much harder to write for. They're much harder to stick out with. And I just don't really see them blowing up to bestsellers quite in the way that giftable products are. So as a beginner, especially, sticking out with super niche down giftable items is going to help you as a beginner stick out in a crowd where there's already so many sellers on Etsy. Once you're towards the end of your last month, you have a lot of listings up, you've stayed consistent, consistent. You've learned your listings already by the end of the month are so much better than your first ones. Now we want to start understanding the process of how an order works before we accidentally mess up with a customer. So I actually highly recommend for people to reach out to their own network for sales. Post it on your Facebook, post it on your Instagram, say, I am now selling customized sweatshirts. If you would like me to make you one, please reach out to me and you can make that listing for them on Etsy. Or ask just friends and families if they have any products from your store that they want to purchase. It is against Etsy customer service for you to be ordering your own products and leaving fake reviews. So make sure these are legit sales. Just because they're from your own network doesn't mean they're not fake, but they want you to leave a real review. Hopefully you don't get a mean aunt. I know one student who had a mean aunt who left her a 2-star review. Hopefully that's not your relative, but when you actually have a family member or a friend purchase from you, if there is an issue with their order, they'll probably reach out to you personally to fix it instead of leaving you a bad review. And you'll also get to see how the back end works with Printify, with Etsy, how the fulfillment works, so that when you get your first sale from someone you don't know, it's a lot less overwhelming. So given that even I, who was consistent and I was learning, I'd actually sold on Etsy before, didn't make my first sale till 5 weeks in, I don't want to lie to you and say that you are going to become a millionaire in your first month on Etsy. It's possible you can make your first few sales, but it's absolutely okay and not a bad indicator if you don't. But if you can set up these habits and these mindsets in this first month, that is what is going to set you up for success in the long term to make sure that your first month and putting all this time in is worth it. And if you need more help, I have tons of different topics about print on demand and Etsy on my channel. And I recently did a video where I studied the top 100 print-on-demand Etsy listings to help you get a kickstart on that competitor research. And I will link that one up here. Thank you guys, and I will see you next week.